In the last video I showed how to create a simple crank slider mechanism. Now we are going to add a cam and then generate a cam profile that we can export to SolidWorks into a cam blank. Before I continue, I will explain the difference between a CAD mechanism solver and MD Pro. 3D CAD typically uses iterative solving for mechanisms. They will try and minimize some function of the distances and constraints between mates, for example. MechDesigner solves mechanisms in a completely different way. It solves the geometric equations which describe mechanism groups called dyads. Dyads have 0 degrees of freedom and can be composed to make larger mechanisms without limit. Dyads also have 2 or more closures which MD Pro recognizes and maintains. This prevents the annoying jumping between closures that you sometimes see in 3D CAD. In fact, it opens up the whole concept of a general reversible kinematic design. MD Pro lets you apply motions to pretty much any joint in your mechanism. This is the mechanism we built in the previous tutorial. If you look in the assembly tree, it shows that the mechanism breaks in certain configurations. We want to avoid that. Assembly tree groups elements belonging to a mechanism. The kinematic tree shows the dyad composition of the mechanism. Let's reduce the length of the crank to prevent breaking. We can do this using a design set which I will quickly set up. Now we can change the dimension until the mechanism is no longer broken. So now I will add a cam. Suppose the crank is the output of this mechanism. The follower of the cam will be the slider, and the cam will mount onto a constantly rotating camshaft. I will now set this up. First add a camshaft part over on the right, then add a motion dimension, and we want to drive it at constant speed, so I will connect the machine clock directly to the motion dimension. Next, set up a roller on the slider part. Add a circle to the slider centered on the second point defining the slider. And finally, cam followers need a profile to be added to their outline. Now add the cam. This command needs just 2 inputs: the part to carry the cam and the follower profile. The cam is drawn showing the inner and outer profiles. So I have shown how to create a cam profile in MD Pro. The next video will show how to take that profile and export it to SolidWorks and add a profile to a cam blank.